Hey there, everybody. How's it going? So, I just wanted to make kind of a quick video to clear up some misconceptions that I've heard about dating in Korea. If you want the short version, here it is. Dating in Korea, being in a relationship with a Korean person, man or woman, especially women here, is very, very difficult to do, especially as a Westerner, right? Especially as a foreigner. So, to give you a little bit of backstory on this, before I came to Korea, I had a bunch of different people telling me all sorts of things about it, right? About Korean life, and some of them were true, some of them weren't. But one of the things that really stuck out to me that a lot of people said was, oh, you're a tall American, right? In your 20s, and when you walk down the streets, people are gonna want to date you, and you're gonna get comments, and you're all this other crazy stuff. And if you go on the apps, people are going to go absolutely wild over you. Well, I'm here to tell you that in my personal experience and in the experience of the other foreigners here in Korea, that's not really true. That's not really accurate. And people get this wrong all the time. So, despite the way that Korea is portrayed in the media via movies or K-pop or just music in general, Korea is still a very, very, very conservative society, right? And with that conservatism comes, homogeny, and comes people that not only know the language very well, Korean, which I don't know super great, but that know the culture well, know the customs, and know the families, and know the traditions. And a lot of Westerners have this idea that, oh man, I'm gonna waltz down the street and look like a plate full of buffalo sauce that just got caught on fire by the moon with some root beer being poured all over it. And in reality, that's not really the case. Most Korean people here are actually kind of difficult to become friends with. And that's not necessarily a negative thing, and don't let me sit here and, try and say that Korea needs to change, but it is a very, very introverted and closed off society. It's difficult to make friends here, and you really have to go out of your way and keep putting forth a lot of effort, especially as a Westerner. Because the way that they look at you is you're something cool, right? You're something exotic, you're something out there, almost like a piece of art, but you don't necessarily want to date a piece of art, right? You don't necessarily want to be in a relationship with a piece of art. And that's okay, but just know that going in, that it is very difficult to make friends. And not only that, it is even more difficult to date Korean people because they like this sort of conservatism, they like the homogeny, they like people that really understand the culture and the language on a very deep level. And as a foreigner, you can learn these things, but you'll never fully be native. And again, not a negative thing, but something that I want people to be aware of. Dating here is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly difficult. It's almost borderline impossible sometimes, it feels like. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Joe, I know people that are married to Korean people that are Westerners. I know people that do come here and get this stuff done. And of course it happens. I know these people too. But it's normally kind of rare. And they normally have to go out of their way in order to achieve those same results, right? In order to get a date with a Korean man or a Korean woman. Well, at least Korean women. I can't speak too much for the men, I guess. But that's the deal, right? Is that they're going out of their way and they're putting forth a lot of effort, and then eventually it sort of hits off. It's not like in the US where, two people may be interested in each other, they may be single, and then they go on a date. Here it's seen as a lot more of kind of a serious thing. And this was something that really, really, really caught me off guard. So, how do you date Korean people? Well, obviously, you can. And the way that you can do it is by the apps, which are the first ones, or by clubs or by mutual friends, which I always consider to be the best way. But just keep in mind that it's a lot more difficult and there's a lot more that goes into it than you might think, especially when you compare it to some place like the US, Canada, Britain, Australia, wherever else in the world you're from, because those are the only four nations I think I know that exist, right? So that was a joke. But so yeah, so yeah, just keep that in mind when you're here. But you can do it the same way, but you are going to have to put forth a lot of effort. All this goes to say, I know I'm kind of repeating myself and just rambling here, but this is just a quick message that I want to get out there because it is something that comes up a lot, is that dating is really, really, really difficult here in South Korea. And especially as a foreigner, it's even more difficult because you are different than everybody else. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this cleared up some misconceptions that you might hear back stateside or wherever you're at. And yeah, thanks for watching the video.